Guys, I have a unique video for y'all today, and I've been working on this behind the scenes for about a week now. But remember that Gibson that I played in a video called I Am So Not Used to This Guitar? Well, that is actually a 1959 Gibson Les Paul SG Special, if you want to get technical about it. But it's what we now know as the SG. One defining factor is look at how thin the headstock is compared to most Gibsons. Now, this thing has been through hell, okay? I'm going to try and cram all of the details of this guitar into one video without it being over 10 minutes or whatever. So I've been redoing this guitar, and I'm planning on refinishing it completely and getting the headstock like Gibson should be with the paint and whatnot. This guitar has been in at least 7 pieces. So whoever had it before we got a hold of it, somehow this guitar ended up in so many pieces that I lost count at all the repairs done on this thing. I don't know if it was in a bar fight or if somebody busted it up on stage, like, smashing a guitar at the end of a concert. Why would someone do that to an SG, though? Or a Gibson of any kind? Maybe a disgruntled ex-wife trying to get revenge on her ex-husband for cheating on her. So she grabs his baby and smashes it into 1,000 pieces. I don't know what happened to it, but here we go. For starters, it suffered a classic headstock break. And now this is fiberglass. I did not put that fiberglass backing on this neck. That was not me. But it had a headstock break right there. And you can see a little bit of it right there. There's a chunk of the fiberglass missing right there, which I took out because I've been reworking this guitar. The entire neck. Can you see that line right there? All the way down to the body and then into the neck pocket inside the guitar under the pickguard. And then on this side, same thing, all the way to the body. So, my guess is the way this broke, it looks to me like somebody may have hit the headstock going this direction real hard, causing the truss rod to not give because it's stronger than the wood. The truss rod didn't give, but the wood did, so it cracked right here, and the whole entire headstock and everything else lifted this way with the truss rod, and the back of the neck right here split. So the neck was split into 3 pieces. Okay, injury number 1. Then the neck was snapped off of the body right here, and you can tell because the neck angle. You can't really see it right there. See that angle? And then see how this is kind of pushed that way some? They floated it in with fiberglass and lacquer, I believe, but this has 0 neck angle. It's vertical. Now, one thing I know about Gibsons, if this had not been broken right there and they had known about the neck angle, this neck should be about there. About a 3-degree angle, like a Les Paul, which is why I'm moving now to the bridge. When I played this in the last video, the bridge had to be set up so high because, well, it had to be dropped all the way to the body, actually. It had to be dropped all the way down, and the action was still high enough that it was miserable to play. And that's because of the 0 neck angle. So, what I did was I recessed the saddle into the body. In other words, I routed out underneath the saddle so that it would sink into the body. Don't know how well you can actually see it, but you're gonna cringe. Tough shit. And then to get the break angle for the bridge so that these don't pop off of the string saddles right here, that is a Strat tremolo plate. One of these. Now, I am going to refine that. That is not the final piece that's going in there for a string retainer. Without that plate, the strings would pop off the string saddles and it would be unplayable. This thing is rock solid, stays in tune amazingly well. So, if I get my way, pretend this is the one off of the SG, okay? I'm just going to call it an SG because it basically is an SG, even though they called it a Les Paul in '59. What I want to do is take a carbide grinding wheel or cutoff wheel and cut that plate off from right here. Cut that section off and then cut that off right there. So then I would be left with a plate about that size. And I'm using the intonation screw holes for the string guides or retainers, break angle retainer, whatever you want to call it. That's a modification that I made, and I'm going to refine it and make it look like it was at least meant to be that way. Or I'm going to try to. Now, all you Gibson purists out there, you're going to tell me, why don't you send it into Gibson? Well, for starters, money, for one thing. Two, this thing lost its value the moment it fell out of that vehicle or got damaged, busted up, whatever happened to it. Oh, and the body was also in like 3 pieces too. So, all that said, the guy did an amazing job putting it back together. Whoever glued it back together. They used brass screws in the neck, which is why it's got kind of turning green. Screw, screw, 2 screws, another screw. And that's where I mistakenly lifted that up thinking it was glue, and it turned out to be fiberglass going the whole length of the neck. Screw, screw. Yeah, this guitar lost its value the moment they repaired it. And they even put screws in the front of the fingerboard right there to hold it to the body when they glued the neck on. And they didn't even get the neck angle right. See that gap right there where that filler is? Right there? That's your neck angle. You see how it's slanted? That's how I know the neck angle is missing out of this guitar. So that's why I recessed the saddle into the body to drop the action, and that's why I've got the retainer plate here for the strings to keep them on the saddles. And they're solid. You could strum on this as hard as you can, and it won't fall off. So right now, this headstock brake repair is kind of sketchy. I don't know how solid it is. And the problem with gluing wood, you get one chance at a good strong bond. For one reason. Glue soaks into the pores of the wood and then dries. So once it dries, that's it. You can re-glue it all you want, but it'll eventually keep popping off every time because there's nowhere for the glue to soak into like a sponge. So you get one chance at gluing a neck, which is why I can't redo this. I can't fix the neck angle. I can't break this again and then re-glue it properly. I can't do that because they already glued it. So what's done is done. All I can do now is clean up what has been done and try and make it better. I'm sorry about my dogs barking. I don't know why they're barking. My dad just got home, I guess. Sorry. Very distracting. Where was I? Oh. Yeah, the body was in 3 pieces also. If you look here, cracked right there, repaired. Cracked right there, repaired. So the electronics cavity was snapped off of this thing. And then you've got a repair right here that goes all the way through the body, all the way up to the first horn here. All the way up to the horn. So this thing must have been in at least 7 pieces. And that's just what I can count. So to all you Gibson purists out there, it's a miracle this thing ever played anything at all after that repair. But now, yes, I kind of butchered it, but I'm going to make it look better later on. And it plays great now, and it sounds great. So my motto is, a guitar is not a guitar if you can't play it. And you're not supposed to worship a guitar. You're supposed to play them. So, until next time, have a good day. God bless you. You're important in this world, and you're loved. Review video coming up soon on the sound.